Hi friends, so yesterday Toby and I posted the video of our super speedy mask. Today we're going to post the video of my favorite mask. This is the one that I've been making for my family. It only takes about 15 minutes, so it's not too terribly slow, just too slow for mass production. It is a combination of the AB mask pattern and a pattern that was posted by a fashion designer. Unfortunately, I don't remember that designer's name. But if you Google shaped mask with pocket, that pattern will come up. And I'll be posting a picture of my pattern in the comments, so if you want to copy it down, you can. So with this pattern, you're going to cut out 2 of your fashion fabric. So there we go. And 2 of your lining fabric. There is seam allowance included in the pattern on all of the curved seams, but not on the straight seam, because originally I was binding that edge, but now I'm turning it in. So when you cut it out, if you use this pattern, either add to the pattern on this edge or just add 5/8 of an inch to your fabric when you're cutting. The next step will be at the sewing machine. You can pause. Okay. So the next step is going to be to sew this curved front seam at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So you do your little backs, still on zigzag. You want to use a straight stitch. So this curved seam at a 1/4 inch, and then you're going to do the same thing on your lining fabric. You can pause, Toby. All right, so once you have your pieces sewn together, you're going to put your fashion fabric and your lining fabric together, right sides together, lining up that center seam. And you can put a pin there to stabilize it if you want to, but I don't think it's necessary. And then you're going to sew it together along the top edge at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, you can go ahead and pause. Okay. Okay, so once you have this top edge sewn together, you're going to flip your mask around, line up that center seam on the bottom edge, and do the same thing. So you're going to sew the bottom edge together at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Go ahead and pause. Okay, so once you have your top and your bottom stitched together, you're going to turn your mask right side out. If you were doing this correctly, you would clip this curve to make it sit more smoothly, but it's not entirely necessary for this project. You can pause. So once you have your mask right side out, sort of give your seams a little tug to get them smooth. And then you're going to turn this end of the mask to the inside, just like you did for the rectangular mask that we did earlier, and you're going to stitch it shut. Then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. You can pause. Okay, so this next step is not absolutely necessary, but I like to do it to keep the outside fabric and the lining fabric smushed smoothly together, and that's to do a zigzag stitch along this center front seam. So I'm going to set my machine to a pretty wide zigzag. I'm going to center that seam, hi Reginald, on the seam, and then just stitch right along that seam from the fashion fabric side of the mask. You can pause, Tobes. Alright, so once you have this center front seam zigged together, if you choose to do that, then you're going to stitch along the top edge and the bottom edge, just like you did on the basic mask. So right along this top edge, and then you do the same thing on the bottom edge. You can pause. Okay, so once you have your stitching along the bottom and top edge of the mask, hi Ani, you're going to turn the ends under about 1/2 of an inch and stitch it down right along the edge. You're going to do that on both sides. You can pause, Toby. So with the other kind of mask, I like non-stretch straps. With this one, I actually like to use a continuous loop of elastic. So I'm using 1/4 inch elastic, and it's about a 36-inch length. And to string it through the mask, you're going to put a pin in the end of the elastic. Work that pin inside the hem that you just put on the end. Bring it up one side and then back down through the other side. You can pause. So once you have your elastic up and through both sides of your mask, you're going to take the ends, overlap them by about 1 inch, and zigzag those ends together. Snip your threads, and then you have a shaped face mask that's super comfortable to wear. That's the end. Thank you.